Scorpio, something in the air feels different as Monday, March 9th approaches. The shift moves quietly, like deep water pulling beneath the surface where only you can sense it. Pisces season surrounds you now, softening the edges of the world while sharpening your intuition. You may feel it in your chest, in your dreams, in the pauses between conversations, a subtle awareness that something is rearranging itself within you. Scorpio, this energy carries a certain hum, almost electric, almost sacred. Pluto, your ruler, moves through Aquarius and stirs themes of direction, influence, and the role you are stepping into over the long arc of your life. This is about identity evolving, shedding a layer that once felt permanent. It feels like deep water meeting an electric current, emotion merging with vision. There is a sensation of standing at the edge of something undefined, a portal without a sign, a threshold without a map. Scorpio recognizes these moments instinctively. You live for the quiet intensity of becoming. A phoenix does not rush its rising. It gathers heat first. It senses the timing. It prepares in silence. March 9th holds that tone: preparation, ignition, elevation. Pisces season opens the emotional body, invites memory, heightens subtle perception. Scorpio moves through this water with instinctive grace, reading what remains unspoken, feeling what hums beneath appearances. Identity begins to shift from the inside, where truth feels raw and luminous at the same time. This is not about sudden fireworks. It feels more like a slow internal turning, a reorientation towards something larger than the present moment. Pluto in Aquarius whispers of long-term evolution, of influence expanding beyond private transformation into shared impact. Scorpio senses the call to embody power in a new way, less guarded, more intentional, deeply aligned. You may notice your thoughts drifting toward the future with unusual clarity. You may feel drawn to reorganize, redefine, recalibrate. Emotional honesty becomes a compass here, guiding you toward choices that reflect who you are becoming. Power returns through awareness, through conscious movement, through the quiet decision to honor your depth. Scorpio, there is a sense of standing at a portal of evolution. The water within you stirs, the fire beneath you warms, the air around you carries possibility. You feel something changing, and the change feels personal. It feels intimate. It feels like you. If you feel this shift building, comment "ready" to step into your next level. And now, let's move deeper into what this turning point is truly activating for you. Pisces season wraps around you like warm water, Scorpio, and something inside your emotional body begins to listen more closely. The sun moving through this fellow water sign creates a current that feels familiar, almost ancestral. Your intuition rises to the surface with quiet authority, guiding you through subtle shifts in tone, timing, and energy. You sense more than you speak, and what you sense feels accurate in a way that bypasses logic. There is a softness in the air, yet beneath it lives a deep sensitivity that sharpens your awareness. Scorpio, this is the kind of season where dreams grow vivid, where symbols linger long after you wake. A number repeats itself on receipts, on clocks, on passing license plates. 111, 222, 777, and your body registers meaning before your mind translates it. You move through your day with an undercurrent of knowing, as if someone turned the volume up on your inner guidance system. Emotional clarity begins surfacing in quiet waves. A conversation lands differently, a memory resurfaces with new understanding, a feeling once buried rises and feels ready to be named. Scorpio, your emotional depth acts as a compass now, pointing you toward alignment through sensation rather than analysis. You recognize that intuition carries strategy within it, that instinct can hold more precision than overthinking ever could. Pisces season encourages surrender into feeling, and you respond with a steady, grounded presence. Your awareness stretches beyond the visible, picking up on shifts in atmosphere, on what remains unsaid in a room. There is power in this sensitivity, a kind of quiet intelligence that sees through facades. Scorpio thrives in these waters, moving through emotional complexity with a natural grace that others admire yet rarely comprehend. You may notice your body reacting before your mind forms words. A subtle tightening signals caution, a sudden warmth signals resonance. Scorpio, your nervous system becomes a guide, responding to truth in real time. Emotional depth reveals direction, and direction begins shaping decisions in small but meaningful ways. During this season, even silence feels communicative. You find yourself drawn toward reflective spaces, toward music that stirs something ancient, toward moments where you can sit and simply feel. The sun in Pisces illuminates your inner ocean, and within that ocean lie currents of guidance waiting to be acknowledged. Scorpio. This is where your strength reveals itself in your capacity to feel fully and remain steady. Repeated signs appear as gentle confirmations rather than loud declarations. A phrase overheard at the right moment, a dream that mirrors your waking life, a symbol that follows you through the week. You sense guidance weaving through ordinary experiences, creating a subtle map only you can read. Intuition becomes strategic, aligning your next move with something deeper than circumstance. There is also a refinement happening in your emotional landscape. Old reactions soften, new responses form. Scorpio recognizes that growth feels less like explosion and more like recalibration, an internal tuning toward greater authenticity. Emotional honesty becomes an anchor, allowing you to navigate intense waters without losing yourself. In this space, guidance feels organic. You begin trusting your instincts in financial conversations, in relational dynamics, in creative decisions. Pisces season invites flow, and Scorpio answers with discernment, choosing alignment over impulse. The depth within you transforms into direction, and direction shapes momentum. Scorpio, you may find yourself observing rather than reacting, sensing the long arc of a situation before stepping in. Your intuitive field expands, weaving insight with timing. The awareness you cultivate now begins influencing more than private emotion. It starts touching the broader structures of your life. And as this intuitive awakening deepens, another layer of transformation waits just beneath the surface, one that connects your inner power to the collective evolution unfolding around you. Pluto moves through Aquarius now, Scorpio, and something ancient within you recognizes the magnitude of that shift. This is your ruler, the planet that governs depth, transformation. Power now traveling through a sign that speaks of community, innovation, and collective vision. The transformation unfolding here feels wider than personal healing. It reaches into the architecture of your future, into the role you are preparing to inhabit in the world beyond your private inner circle. Scorpio, this energy carries an awakening that feels both subtle and immense. Aquarius stretches the lens outward, asking how your depth translates into impact, how your intensity becomes influence. You may sense a quiet recalibration around friendships, networks, collaborations, even your digital presence. The spaces you occupy begin to mirror who you are becoming, and who you are becoming feels larger than before. There is purpose in this expansion, a purpose that hums beneath your daily actions, beneath conversations that once felt casual and now carry weight. Scorpio understands power instinctively, yet Pluto in Aquarius refines it, directing it toward collective evolution. Your voice, your insights, your presence begin shaping more than one-on-one dynamics. They ripple outward. This shift may show up as a desire to contribute in new ways, a pull toward projects that extend beyond personal gain, toward ideas that influence communities, platforms, audiences. Scorpio, your depth meets vision here. What once remained hidden in private reflection begins seeking expression in shared spaces. Awakening unfolds through awareness of your long-term direction. You might notice your thoughts drifting toward legacy, toward what you build and who it serves. Pluto reshapes identity from the inside, and Aquarius provides the blueprint for how that identity interacts with the collective. Reinvention becomes strategic, intentional, almost architectural. There is intensity in this process, yet it carries a composed quality. Scorpio moves with quiet authority, sensing timing, choosing words carefully, aligning energy with intention. Influence grows through authenticity rather than performance. Power expands when shared wisely, when depth integrates with clarity. You may feel moments where your purpose seems to widen unexpectedly. A conversation sparks a realization about your impact. A creative idea feels aligned with something bigger than personal expression. Scorpio, this is the evolution of power from personal transformation to communal resonance. Your digital world may also reflect this shift. The way you present yourself, the way you communicate, the spaces you engage with begin to transform. Aquarius governs technology, networks, the future. Pluto ensures that whatever changes occur carry depth, substance, longevity. Scorpio senses when growth demands a larger container. The identity you once wore comfortably begins to stretch, accommodating more responsibility, more visibility, more influence. This does not feel chaotic. It feels like stepping into a room where your presence fits naturally. Quiet authority replaces urgency. If you feel your purpose expanding, type "evolve" in the comments. There is something powerful about acknowledging that expansion openly. Scorpio thrives in transformation, and Pluto in Aquarius invites you to evolve in ways that connect your inner depth with collective momentum. The transformation becomes less about shedding alone and more about constructing, designing, contributing. This evolution asks for awareness of how your energy interacts with groups, communities, and shared missions. You might sense where your intensity uplifts, where your insight catalyzes change. Depth meets vision here, and vision extends beyond the present moment. Scorpio, you are stepping into a phase where influence grows organically from authenticity. Your presence begins shaping environments rather than adapting to them. The power you cultivated internally now finds channels of expression externally, weaving personal mastery with collective relevance. And as this broader evolution of power unfolds, another layer of transformation begins to surface, one that feels more intimate, more symbolic, almost archetypal, guiding you toward the deeper call of rebirth, waiting just ahead. The cards that rise around you now carry archetypes that feel familiar to your bones. Scorpio. Death appears first, calm and steady, holding the quiet promise of rebirth. This is the shedding of an old identity that once fit your survival, your protection, your becoming. You feel the skin loosening, the layer thinning, as if your spirit is ready for air again. Scorpio, death in your spread feels less like an ending and more like a return to essence. The version of you that carried certain roles, certain defenses, certain stories begins to dissolve gently. You sense space opening where heaviness once lived. This shedding feels intimate, almost sacred, like placing something down with gratitude instead of resistance. Then comes judgment, and with it a stirring that moves through your chest. A call that feels internal, steady, unmistakable. Scorpio recognizes this frequency, the moment when your soul clears its throat and speaks in a tone that resonates through your entire body. Awakening here is less dramatic and more precise, like a bell struck once in a quiet room. There is a realization forming about who you are becoming. Judgment invites you to rise into a higher octave of yourself, to embody the clarity that has been gathering quietly. Scorpio, this awakening carries power without noise. It feels like standing taller inside your own skin. The Queen of Cups sits nearby, holding emotional mastery with graceful strength. She feels deeply, yet her feelings move through her like water guided by the moon. Scorpio understands this archetype intimately, the ability to hold intensity while remaining centered. Emotional sovereignty grows when you allow waves to pass without losing your core. There is a calm developing beneath your surface, empowered, steady, grounded. The Queen teaches that sensitivity enhances strength, that empathy sharpens perception. Scorpio, your emotional depth becomes a refined instrument, tuned carefully to truth. The King of Cups steps forward next, bringing controlled intensity. His presence feels composed, deliberate, aware of his power yet unshaken by it. Scorpio resonates with this energy, the mastery of feeling without drowning in it, the ability to remain poised even when emotions surge. Together, these archetypes weave a narrative of internal rebirth. Death clears the old, judgment awakens the call, the Queen refines emotional intelligence, the King stabilizes it. Scorpio stands in the center of this transformation, feeling both the vulnerability and the authority of becoming. Emotional control reveals itself as spiritual strength, steady and enduring. Release creates elevation here. As you loosen your grip on outdated identities, your energy rises naturally. Scorpio senses this lift as subtle expansion in the chest, a lighter rhythm in the breath. Rebirth unfolds from within, shaping your posture, your voice, your gaze. This process feels personal, even private, a transformation occurring beneath the surface of daily life. Scorpio moves through conversations and routines while something profound recalibrates internally. The archetypes guide you inward, inviting reflection, inviting integration. You may notice how differently you respond now. A situation that once triggered intensity now meets a measured presence. A memory that once held charge now feels like wisdom. Scorpio recognizes this shift as maturity, as inner alignment, as a quiet claiming of authority over your own emotional landscape. The cards suggest movement, yet the movement feels contained within your core. A rebirth unfolding in layers, in breaths, in realizations that arrive softly. And as this internal transformation continues weaving itself through your identity, the next step begins to ask for something tangible, something lived, something practiced in the rhythms of your week. As this inner transformation continues settling into your bones, Scorpio, the energy begins asking for something tangible. Not dramatic gestures, not sweeping declarations, just quiet alignment woven into your daily rhythm. Transformation gains strength through structure, through small acts that anchor the shift into your physical world. You feel the call to move with intention, to let your evolution shape your habits. Journaling becomes a private mirror this week. Scorpio, when you place pen to paper and write about who you are becoming, something clarifies in real time. Thoughts that once circled in silence begin forming shape and direction. Identity shift feels less abstract when your own handwriting reflects it back to you. There is power in naming what has changed. A sentence that begins with, "I am stepping into," carries weight when written with awareness. Scorpio senses how language stabilizes emotion, how articulation strengthens resolve. The page becomes sacred space, holding the outline of your next chapter. Water calls to you as well. A slow shower at the end of the day, a bath infused with intention, even a glass of water held for a breath before drinking. These small rituals create grounding. Scorpio thrives in water symbolism. It connects you to depth while calming intensity. The body relaxes, and with it, your thoughts align. You may find yourself drawn toward cleansing, toward clearing physical spaces that mirror your internal shedding, rearranging a desk, organizing digital files, refreshing a corner of your home. These actions feel practical, yet beneath them flows intention. Scorpio understands that environment shapes energy, and energy shapes momentum. Financial reflection carries a strategic tone now. Rather than reacting impulsively, you pause, observe patterns, consider long-term direction. Scorpio approaches resources with focused awareness, sensing how money intersects with purpose. A quiet review of spending, saving, investing becomes an act of alignment rather than pressure. Purpose-driven decisions begin guiding even minor choices. A project receives your attention because it resonates with your evolving identity. A conversation unfolds with clarity because you recognize its significance. Scorpio moves through the week, grounded, focused, magnetic. Discipline reveals itself as a stabilizing force, waking at a consistent hour, honoring rest, tending to your body with care. These rhythms create containment for the powerful shifts unfolding within you. Scorpio recognizes that intensity flourishes best within structure. Small, aligned actions accumulate quietly, a mindful response instead of a reactive one, a conscious boundary that protects your energy, a choice that reflects the person you are becoming rather than the person you once were. Each action feels subtle, yet together they build trajectory. You may notice how confidence grows through repetition. The more you act in harmony with your evolution, the more natural it feels. Scorpio embodies change gradually, allowing it to integrate into muscle memory, into posture, into presence. Practical alignment becomes an extension of your internal rebirth. This week invites you to inhabit your transformation through lived experience, not as a concept, but as routine, as movement, as steady intention. Scorpio, your destiny shapes itself through daily choices that honor depth and direction. And as these small practices settle into place, something within you begins preparing to fully claim the level you have been rising toward. March 9th feels like a quiet threshold. Scorpio, a line drawn softly between who you were and who you are becoming. The shift carries depth rather than noise, a steady elevation that settles into your posture, your breath, your gaze. You sense it in the way you hold yourself now, strong, centered, aware. Scorpio, this journey has moved through intuition, through power, through archetypal rebirth, and into the steady rhythm of lived alignment. Nothing flashy, nothing forced, just a gradual claiming of your own authority. Alignment begins replacing control, and with that shift comes a certain calm. Power feels internal now, self-contained, radiating outward without demand. There is influence in this version of you, a presence that shapes rooms without raising volume, that guides conversations without overt effort. Scorpio, transformation has matured into leadership, the kind that grows from inner mastery rather than external validation. The depth you cultivated in silence now informs every decision, every boundary, every direction you choose. You may notice how certainty feels different from intensity. It rests in the body as steadiness, as quiet confidence. Scorpio stands elevated here, grounded in emotion, yet guided by vision. Sacred timing moves alongside you, rewarding evolution with opportunity that mirrors your growth. As this new chapter begins, Scorpio, allow yourself a moment to feel the level you have reached. The air feels clearer here. The water within you feels calm yet powerful, reflecting light instead of turbulence. A phoenix once gathering heat now stands fully formed, wings open in stillness. If this resonates with your spirit as this new chapter begins, comment one word that defines your next evolution, or simply comment 888 to seal this new chapter. And if you feel called to stay connected, to continue exploring these energies together, you are always welcome here. A like, a share, or a quiet subscription becomes a gentle way of walking this path side by side. Scorpio, your presence in this space adds depth to it, and the journey ahead continues unfolding, one conscious step at a time.